Alrighty, well, man, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna really miss doing this. I'm kind of trying to take in every second of it. It's kind of the last time. Well, I'm sure by the title of this video, you probably know at this point what it's about, but this is pretty much going to be the last episode of Gimme the Keys. It's been a good ride. It's been fun doing this. It has been fun, but it is like anything else in life. It's coming to an end. It's coming to a natural end. It's coming to a natural end. I can feel it. So I want to talk about today, I want to talk about kind of why it's ending. I would like to discuss what the process was like from my end doing the podcast over the last year and a half, over the last year and 7 months or so. Talk about my perspective of the progression of it. And I really want to make this almost like a, a case study for people to kind of, it's just, I want to put a proper bookend on Gimme the Keys. It's been fun, and I want to talk about why I started it, what I made of the creative progression, and then why it's ending, and then what's next. So that's basically the format of today's podcast. But, before we go any further, you guys remember the shelf? You guys remember the shelf? We got something on the shelf today, and it's a classic. Here we go. Right there. Absolutely. Yep, and it's the right way to end a podcast, is with a Coors Banquet. And if you don't know about Coors Banquet, well, it's brewed with 100% Rocky Mountain water, so that should tell you everything you need to know. But we're going to open this. And I am using a different tripod because Asia is camping with my other tripod, using the GoPro with it. So if the angle's weird, it's the last one, who cares? So anyways, cheers to you guys. Can't wait for this podcast. Hopefully it's a longer one. We get to just hang out. I love the podcast where we get to hang out. And yeah, cheers. Yep, absolutely. Well, so why is the podcast ending? It's ending because I want it to end. That's kind of the best answer. It's ending because I want it to end. It's not giving me the same joy that it did when I started. It's and I talked about this on the previous episode. So if you watched that, it was kind of prepping this episode. But it's not fun to me anymore. It's less fun to me now. And it's because, I've done 84 of them. 84 podcasts. I can hang my hat on that or whatever that saying is. 84 is a lot. I've done a lot. Okay, I've said a lot. Excuse me. I've said a lot. Said a lot of what needs to be said from a individual perspective. This is a solo podcast. I've said a lot of what I've wanted to say. I've said a lot. So it's like, let's not disregard everything I've already done with the podcast. Let's not take anything away from the previous episodes, and let's just let that live, and let's acknowledge that I've done a lot. Okay. My drive for it's dwindling. My motivation to keep doing the podcast is dwindling. You caught me. Part of that is because the reception of it, I've got less than 100 subscribers and I've been doing it for a year and a half. That should be enough evidence to say, maybe your idea, your concept isn't resonating with people. And I can have the humility about that to acknowledge that is an aspect of creating content. Okay? At the end of the day, this is creating content. What's the point of creating content? It's for other people to value it, view it, and get something beneficial from it. So like that's the point of creating content in the general sense. When I started my podcast, it was very much an internal practice. It was for me. I was making content for me, believe it or not, So I was making content for me. So this has been a very individual journey, and the lack of reception kind of validates that yep, this is for me. So it was a personal thing that I was doing, and I've just come to the realization that it's not what other people care about. Like it's not it doesn't have value to a wide audience. And so I've been stubborn about it. When I started, it was kind of ignorance is bliss. Like, I'm going to do this podcast in my closet. I'm going to say the ideas in my head. I don't care I don't care if it could be easily digested by other people. I'm just going to express myself in the way that feels most natural and compelling to me. And to be frank, I've lost that. I've achieved my personal expression through this, that I've gotten to the point where it's like I actually care about how it's received. I actually would like to know that other people see it and get value from it, And so the fact that's I have to accept the reality that's not there, and that it's time to pivot. It's time to do something else. It's time to put this to rest. So that's kind of the overarching reason why the podcast is ending. Some other more technical factors is just, one, I record this. Since Pod 1, I've recorded every podcast on my MacBook Pro. My MacBook Pro is the 2017 model, and I bought it in 2019, so that's coming up on 7 years. So I've had it for a really long time, and for Christmas last year, I got the iMac. Great piece of technology. Excuse me. It's in the office behind me. If I open this door, I can maybe show you, maybe. It's in this room. This is a closet. This is a closet, by the way. So I have the iMac, and I just want to transfer kind of more to that. Like I want to do more of my music on there. I want to make more videos in there. Like I'm kind of done with the format here, like this format. It's been fun. Shout out Asia for putting up the picture wall, and I like the setup. The setup's cool. It's fun. It's actually really fun to do podcasts in here. But I don't want to get too attached to this format. I guess that leads me into saying that I'm not done creating. I'm not done making videos. I'm not done expressing myself. Crazy. But I am kind of done with this. Like this. It's like if we move apartments, like I don't want to be too attached to this setup right here. I don't want to be too attached to it. So there's that. There's my MacBook Pro, my laptop, it's on its last leg. It's having major issues. It's giving me error message every time. I got to reset it just to airdrop an audio file to myself. Its battery is trash. It's just dying. Like the MacBook Pro's dying. And so if that goes away, I don't have a way to record my audio. So it's just like I want to migrate all this out into the office. And so I just want to change kind of the dynamic of my creativity. this room, this setup, this MacBook, it's all served its purpose. It's served its purpose. I'm almost at the point where I said everything I can say in this format, and it's like I'm alone. You know how crazy it is to record a podcast alone? It's quite crazy. It's kind of insane. And I didn't know that when I started, but the more I talk to people in the real world and just the concept of like, hey, I do a podcast alone, they're like, whoa. Like, just to have a train of thought apparently is uncommon for the average person. So there's that. It's too unorthodox. Like, it's too low level also. Let's be frank. Like, this is a low level podcast. Like, I'm bootstrapping this. Like, this is not an official podcast. It was something different. And that's more so what I wanted to get into in this next phase is like the overarching reflection of the podcast. And I can't wait for this. I cannot wait. Because it's going to tie it all together. And I can put this out with confidence that it's like a period on the Gimme the Keys. It's like, give me the keys. Here it is. It was like this. It was like, Gimme the Keys started out here, went up, came down, and now it's at a natural finish line. And it's like, this is going to be that natural finish line. So I'm going to drink more of the Coors Banquet, and then I'm going to start the iPad and get a screen recording going, and we're going to reflect. I know you guys don't like that word reflect, but I'm about to reflect hard. All right, Coors on the shelf. Hopefully I'm in the shot. And I still get confused on if I'm in the shot. That's hilarious. Okay, let's get the angle here. Let me adjust the microphone. 1 second. Sorry if it's annoying in your headphones. I'm just going to tilt it slightly down and to the right because I'm going to be looking to the right. Oh, destroyed the picture. Great. So let me get this screen recording started. Right here for you guys. 3, 2, 1. There it is. Haha. Okay. So, I don't know why I always do that. So we're going to go into YouTube and hopefully we don't get a copyright or whatever. But we're going to pull up the channel. We're going to go to View Channel on Gimme the Keys. Here it is. This is everything I've ever created on YouTube. And let's go back to the oldest chronological order. So here's where it all started. Gimme the Keys. Podcast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think I recorded in like a week-long period almost, like maybe a week or two. And I've talked about the state I was in when I started, but I wanted to kind of flesh that out a little bit more. And this is kind of important for understanding why I started Gimme the Keys. So when I started Gimme the Keys, I had been living in Colorado, which is my dream, my ultimate dream. I'd been living here for a year. And I felt settled when I started the podcast. I felt settled in Colorado. I felt that I had gotten past all the I had gotten past all the acclimating to a new environment, a new state. I got past that. I found work. I moved out here. Me and Asia moved out here. We didn't have jobs. So it's like I had found work that was conducive to the work-life balance I wanted. And I was going into my off season with sales. If you're in sales, you sometimes take an off season where it's like you don't work for like 3 or 4 months because it's winter and you kind of grind it all summer and you get to have some time off. And so when I started my podcast, Give Me the Keys, this podcast, I was going into my off season. I had nothing but just freedom, like just straight freedom. I had a lot of downtime, a lot of alone time. Like I'd only been here a year, so it's like I had friends, but I didn't have like a social fabric. So I was just alone a lot. And for me, I really enjoy being alone. And as selfish as that sounds, like I just thrive by being alone. Like I like to be intellectual and creative when I'm alone. And sometimes with other people, you have to dial it back to kind of more of a surface level. You have to kind of have more small talk and think less abstract concepts when you're socializing. So when I started the podcast, I was just as happy as I could ever be. Like I felt, and I talked about this early on, but I experienced for a brief 4 or 5 days what I would consider a feeling of enlightenment. I was probably smoking a little bit too much weed. I think I was microdosing shrooms too. But it was like my summer break. It was like I could do whatever I want. Like I've set up my life in this way where it's like I'm with the person I want to be with for the rest of my life. I live in the state I want to live in. I've conquered work. Like I have the perfect work life set up. Our apartment's perfect. We have Remy, the perfect pet. Like I was just happy. I was just like literally like there's nothing left to do. Let's enjoy this. It was like I had reached an oasis in my life, an oasis, a paradise. And I was reading The Power Now. And I meant to bring that book into this room because I wanted to have it because it's full loop. Because when I started, I talked a lot about the power of now. And I'm reading that right now, by the way. But so when I started the podcast, I was in a state of just grand bliss. I was just like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that life is set up this way. And the only like, what's the word? The next sequential move was for me to start the podcast and like overcome the last little bit of like the last little bit of life I hadn't conquered, which is like ultimate creativity, which was being willing to just my voice. Like I even lose sight of this now that I'm recording this, but like just being able to speak into a microphone freely and not have fear. You know how much fear I had and still sometimes have about speaking? It was a last frontier of like fear that I could conquer in life. The last little bit of like, if you can do this, we made it. I can die peacefully. It was like I was kind of at a place where I was like ready to die peacefully because I was just like, life, this is the pinnacle. I was 27, a lot of archetypal ways that my life had lined up. A lot of strife that I got through, a lot of challenges, a lot of personal struggle I made it through. And I was just at a place where I was like, this is like, there's purpose in this. This is like what I want to do. So anyways, the screen recording's still going. So let me restart it because that's easier on the editing part. So the first kind of so we got Recognizing, which is pod 7, Me and My Dad, which was pod 8, and then Hotel in Kansas, still my favorite podcast. It's got 16 views. Hotel in Kansas, if you have never listened to Hotel in Kansas, that is, what is it? It's the ultimate expression. It's like the rawest ultimate expression. I had just started the podcast. I recorded it in a hotel in Kansas. I spent the whole day driving. I was distraught about my friendships because I was doing the podcast and I'm like, why aren't people understanding the value of this? Why aren't they understanding like why aren't they connecting with this? It was my first time feeling like people aren't connecting with my podcast, and it's like it was bothering me. So, anyways, Hotel in Kansas was a good one. I went home for Christmas and I started doing guest podcasts. I did a podcast with Zay, one of my best friends. He actually lives here now. I did a podcast with my niece. I did a podcast with Aaron Vince. I did a podcast with Corey Ginn, which is insane. I did a podcast with Coin. And like that to me was so fulfilling to be able to be creative and then bring other people kind of to that creativity. Like bring my friends into this, and just being able to do a podcast with someone who's never done a podcast. And just like, it was just so fun. Gosh, it was just so fun and silly and like low level. The fact that it was like so low level, but it was just so fun, man. And then I came back to Colorado and this is where I start to get, as you can see on the screen, I start to get more, okay, how do I make the podcast more digestible for other people? Because when I started these screensavers, it was just a screensaver where it was like voice over a screensaver. And then, as you can see, I incorporated video. I think that was pod 16. I started incorporating video. And then I did a big 5 personality lecture where it's like, okay, I'm presenting a topic. I started presenting to people. Gimme That Art. I was on shrooms when I recorded Gimme That Art hilariously. They're decriminalized in Colorado, so you can't arrest me. I was in my comfort of my own home, and I wanted to record a podcast on shrooms, so I did that. Sorry, Mom. Sorry. I just kept experimenting. I did ASMR. I started getting more like real. I started presenting more, getting more methodical about the visuals. I started incorporating my thumbnails. Right around here, I started thinking about my thumbnails more. I'm like, okay, it's YouTube. I got to think about thumbnails. And so this whole phase of the podcast was learning, and it was like it was almost like figuring out what I wanted to express and say with this format. The concept, the idea of like, and probably no one's even going to listen to this, but it's like, it's the idea of like, what I'm saying matters. And so let's think in a different, unique way. Let me dig a little deeper into my consciousness about what I'm experiencing. And so the podcast was just like a magnifying glass for that. It was like a magnifying glass for this is what's going on in your psyche, in your mind. And so as an intellectual, creative person, I was just like, that's fascinating. Let's keep doing this. So I just started getting more creative with my video ideas. I talked about what I love about Colorado. I did a podcast where I just pretended to be in a great mood for no reason. I did a podcast with a new friend, Van, who's now an old friend almost, it feels. Started putting out music videos. This is where I started to get broader with my breadth of video creation. Here I started to record podcast. I did a podcast on the balcony. I did a music video. I did a vlog, my first vlog, where we went to Guffey Gorge. I started just doing like silent videos where I was just like, I'm done talking. Like I want to just feel and be present. And so I started doing drawing videos. I went back to the format of the screensaver. I did more hikes. I sat on the balcony. It's like I just started casting a wider net with my creativity. I did a podcast with my little brother in Florida on our family vacation. Me and Jake, this is great. Oh man, I feel so fondly about this period. I miss it, man. Jake lived with us for like a month, and we were working, we were selling, and we just recorded a video of us playing Wii golf. It's just so fun, man. Just it's fun. Making videos is fun, okay? And so anyways, blah, 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 blah. Like, just evolution of recording podcasts. That's basically all this is. More music videos, more format. There's more format in the videos. At the start of this year, I started having a format for the podcast. I started like having a topic. I became like very topical of like, these are the things that are popular right now. Let me talk about what's popular. I had a breathwork video. I had a listening party, another one. I started doing more bird watching, Q&As, blah, 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 blah. Increased thumbnails. You can tell at this point, like I'm doing more in the post. I'm editing more. I'm making better titles. I'm making better thumbnails. It's becoming like a science. It's becoming less of creativity and more science. Here I use AI. The best video, my best video was AI, which is so sad. The Jordan Peterson, it was, the thumbnail is AI, I should say. And go figure, that got the most views. Like, AI is going to displace me in about 4 seconds. It's just like, that's the other thing, AI. That's the other thing, AI. AI is for sure gonna ruin humanity. Like, hands down. It's like a matter of time before there's no, like, that was the other thing is like, as I use ChatGPT more, I'm like, I'm stupid. Like, I don't need to be recording podcast. Like, let AI make a podcast. Like, that is another aspect of all this, the AI thing. Anywho, I think I've talked about what I think I'm on track here. Talked about why I'm stopping. I reflected. What's next? Okay, so what's next? Well, I'm hesitant to kind of talk about it prematurely, but I guess this won't come out for another month. It's July 11th as I record this, but you'll probably get it August 11th or August 4th or something. But what I'm thinking about right now is I'm already in the works of creating about 4 or 5 new channels, basically 4. I'm just done with Gimme the Keys. Gimme the Keys is too vague. It was like an experiment. Now I want to create channels that are very niche specific, that are still fun and creative to me, that still have a creative element, that incorporates the sentiments that matter to me, that I value, which is, for example, it's still self-expression, it's still self-improvement, it's still peace and meditation, it's still admiration for beauty, it's still ideas. So it's everything that I've already encapsulated within Gimme the Keys, but it's more niche specific, and the channels are little like dishes. They're little like buckets where it's like, it's just more, it's more specific and direct and identifiable. Sorry. I'm drinking beer and I'm burping. Sorry. Oh, Coors Banquet. My gosh. I kind of want to stop drinking too. That's a whole different topic. Let me stay on track. What was I saying? Dang it. I forgot. I actually forgot. But anyways, I'm starting new channels, and I don't even really want them to be about me. I don't want them to be about me. I want them to be things that I enjoy as a creative process that could be valuable to other people. So that's the key difference. Key. And I still want to be creative and expressive, but I'm done with this. Like, we did it. Like, I did what I set out to do. I was actually reflecting. Where was I at reflecting? might have been role playing this podcast, but just this is pod 84. Like I was on the phone. I know what I was doing. I was on the phone with my good friend Coin. Shout out Coin. We were on the phone, and I just told him, I'm like, I'm astonished at my, when I go back and look at my channel, Gimme the Keys, and I just scroll through all the videos I've created. I'm astonished. I can't believe I've done this. Like, and it's just like, that was the creative evolution of it all. It was like going with the flow. It was like being in a flow state and creating on top of previous creations and taking new knowledge and insights from completing the process of creating a video and then starting a new one with that insight about the previous video created, and just reiterating and continuing to reiterate is a good word. I was just continuing to push on and build off of what I was already learning and doing. And so, I've made over 100 videos, 84 podcasts where I set up in a closet and speak alone, and then do all the editing, do the thumbnail, do the titles, do the description, do the scheduling. Oh, let me throw this in there at the end, because I want to wrap this up. I can tell I'm getting close to being done. But there was a phase where I was like, okay, I'm going to really try an organic marketing plan. I was like, I'm not going to pay for ads. I'm not going to pay for YouTube to just artificially boost my impressions. I was like, I'm going to do an organic marketing campaign through Instagram, through real people I know. And that was very fulfilling, because it was like, it worked. Like, it worked for like 2 or 3 videos. I basically paid close friends on Instagram to help me grow the channel. I was basically paying for their engagement. It's like, if I'm going to run an ad, that's like paying for artificial engagement. But I'm like, I want it to be organic. Like, I want it to be like real people that I can reach out to directly and ask them, hey, if we set it up financially to where there's a financial incentive for you to interact with my video, can we do that? And it's like, I made this group on Instagram. It was like only like 15 people, maybe 14. But I was posting all the, every time I posted on Sunday, I'd put the link in the chat, and it was crazy that people were like following along with that plan. They would watch the video. They would like it. They would comment. The only catch was that I had to pay them to do it. It was like, I thought that was like maybe going to be worth it, because I was like, if there's organic baseline engagement when the video is posted, maybe YouTube can recognize that, and their algorithm can then take it and push it to more people. But at the end of the day, it was all artificial. I was paying people to watch my video, and so it's like I want to create something where people don't have to be paid to watch it. If you pay people, they will watch it. It's like growing up in school. If there's a teacher that's paid to read your paper in writing, they'll read your paper. Like in college, you get assigned to write a paper about XYZ. You write it all out. You're being creative. You're writing. And then your teacher reads it. But why do they read it? It's because they were paid to read it. Your teachers were paid to read your writing. And so we don't really get good at creating authentically and actually building value for people, because we grow up in a system where the teacher's paid to consume our creativity, i.e., in essence, our writing. So it's like, I want people to value what I'm doing free of financial incentive. Like, I just want to create value for more people. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so the keys has been fun, but as you can see or tell at the video, we didn't even hit 100 subscribers. As I'm quitting, I'm throwing in the towel. This is me quitting. I'm done doing Gimme the Keys. and we didn't even break 100 subscribers, but we did it consistently and put all our effort and heart and soul into it for a year and 7 months, and we didn't even break 100 subscribers. So, newsflash, this didn't work. It was, ow, it's a candle, heat. It was creatively fulfilling, and it was personally fulfilling, and I learned a lot, and the experience along the way was really fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. I had, a lot of cool drinks on the podcast. But, it's time to mature. It's time to pivot. It's time to step into a new phase and continue to grow and continue to change and continue to push the fold of what's possible. So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tapping into the keys. And yeah, I won't see you on the next one.